special video, there are a few things I wanted to talk about specifically from the comment section, and I want to offer a little of what I want to do is offer some of my view and what I do or don't do and why. I won't give everything away, but I'll share enough so that you can get a little bit into my head with respect to how I see some things and why I do what I do. Here's a good example. This is the response. I'll give the thread from this. This comment was from the most recent video that I had. And the comment was NIO train or NIO submarine because we are always underwater. And what I did is I looked back at the previous comments from this particular party, and I do not think that this person is a short. And I don't know one way or the other, but if I thought this person was a short, I would have just removed them because I don't want to waste a bunch of time dealing with folks who I think are there with bad intentions. So having said that, I did bring up a comment that they had said from last year. And this is the quote: "We will be lucky if they break 15,000, talking about NIO. This was in the month of July. And that's what I said, your comment on a video last July. NIO delivered 20,462 vehicles that month. And so what I wanted to point out was, and kind of make this person aware of, is, there's a lot of negativity that you're bringing and it's unnecessary. Now you can choose to do that, and I can choose to either keep you and allow you to keep coming back to the channel. But at some point, if I choose to get tired of the negativity, I'll just remove you. I don't want to do that. And that's why I give people a lot of chances. I've been judged harshly, and I believe unfairly. I don't want to do that to someone else, but I do want to give them the chance to have some increased awareness, and maybe they're fine with how they are. Maybe the negativity carries over into other parts of their life. Maybe this is just a one-off, and maybe they're just having a bad day or whatever. That's fine. I want to keep an open mind. But so then we had the comment thread kind of went on. And so a couple other people weighed in. And one said, "I'm glad you keep up with replies like this, Aaron. It reminds us of who is saying what. Love it." And look, this is part of what I do, because as in this case, as I said, I don't think this is a short, this person. And that's why I didn't remove them. I have removed a lot, and I mean a lot, of shorts. And it's funny because some of the shorts who I have removed, I've watched how they interact, and some of them have wised up to where they're more cautious with me in the comment section than they are with others on their videos, because they know if they're a short and they're there to spread FUD, then they know who is not going to get in the comment section and pay any attention. They know who's going to kind of police it and watch it. And they know that I will not really police it so much as I just try to engage with everyone. I try to visit with folks. If you're taking your time to come here and watch my content and leave a comment, then I want to have dialogue with you. And that's kind of my way of saying thank you. And so I do want to give people the benefit of the doubt. That's a part of why I do this. What does end up happening is, by default, and the shorts being real in some cases, I do have to police things. And so I wanted to offer that as a little perspective, my side, and why I don't just remove people, but I have been doing it more, and I will do it more. And the irony is, I'm gaining subs as I'm doing it. So for a channel where, yes, it's a monetized channel. The money that I make from this channel, I guess I should say it like this: money has not been the primary reason for me to do this channel. It's probably not even in the top 3 reasons that I do this channel. So, and if you want me to, I'll break down the reasons in another video. But the point is, I'm giving my time. Other people spend their time here. And so I want to be protective of and treasure that time and share time collaboratively in a positive way that's encouraging and helpful for people. And that doesn't mean I can't be wrong. It doesn't mean I can't be negative. I will be both of those things at different times. But I hope and I appreciate when people check me or correct me when they think I'm wrong, because that's a good thing. And anyway, that's my view. Another commenter, was suggesting, that they sell their position, and basically that they were short. And again, I said, I don't think it's a short. I think there's a negative, behavioral pattern that's come through in the comment section from this particular party. And I just wanted to bring it up and give them that awareness, and they can do whatever they want with it. And so that's my thought. And the response that they came back with to one of the others was essentially that they're, frustrated and thinking that NIO has to be doing 30,000 monthly deliveries. And I haven't talked about the profitability. I got new information and a new take on things from the first quarter earnings, and I have not covered that in a video yet. So please stay tuned, because I want to break down. It's I want to connect the dots with it and why I'm thinking things the way that I am. It's different than what I thought before. I don't think we're likely to see profits in the second quarter. And I'll explain why, but I am glad that I had this kind of, it's an indicator. I think Mr. EQ William Lee really made some things clear for anybody paying attention and recognizing the way he thinks. And I think I have enough of a sense of how he thinks that I can break it down. So I'll do that in a future video. But anyway, I just wanted to address that because I don't want people to feel like I'm attacking them in the comment section. I'll bring things up to increase awareness, or in some cases when I am testing those that I am confident are shorts, and this is not in play in this case, but I will sometimes see how they respond or do little things so that I can then get a better sense of some of their strategies, because I do see some of what they do. And I have used it to my advantage in recognizing, I think that, let's face it, if there are shorts showing up at all in comment sections, then what are they worried about? What are they concerned about? I just, that's the way I think. Anyway, psychological warfare aside, let's move on, because this is another really good one. This is from a couple videos ago. And this is from Brock says, watch your videos all the time. I literally search NIO stock predictions every time to find your videos, and you would think your videos would pop up, especially with the numbers you put up on your page, but no. Not big on conspiracies, but why are you blacklisted? And then, of course, the laughter. And I was laughing when I read it. This happens. I've had people tell me this before. So I went ahead and just broke it down. And the funny thing is, I think I got shadow banned even for this response. And I actually mentioned that after the fact, but let's just break it down. 3 strong possibilities. And for conspiracy theory fun anyway, and little wink, because maybe not. But number 3 is the shocker. So hang on for that. Number 1 is I've talked about the Federal Reserve in a negative light. Folks, this is not welcomed. And I was immediately shadow banned for, and I think it was for a few days or a few videos after. I think that's typically what happens when there's an S ban. I better start calling it, or I'll get hit again. But in any event, I think that's how it goes. And it definitely was in play. A couple times I did that. And the first time, I was surprised it happened. The second time I did it to test the theory and see if it was actually going to happen again. It did. And so this is one of the 3 reasons, by the way, that I don't care so much. Like, money is not the primary driver for me with the channel. I want to learn. And I'm using myself in this channel for market research. And I get to see things like how the S bands operate or seem to operate. So anyway, let's move on. Reason number 2 is I haven't pumped Tesla or Elon Musk. In fact, my nickname for him is Mr. Overhype. He does a phenomenal job. Probably he's the best in the world at pumping and hyping. And so I think it's appropriate to call him Mr. Overhype. But I do it half in jest. But what I don't do is I don't pump Tesla and I don't pump Elon Musk. And I have watched channels, multiple channels. I actually have a count of channels. I have 4 or 5 off the top of my head that have at least 10x, but I think most of them have 100x'd their subscriber base, in part because they primarily focus on Tesla and or Elon and pumping that, or they pivoted and changed, the kind of rebranded their channel to focus on pumping Tesla and or Elon. It's crazy to me, but these channels seem to be highly rewarded for doing it. So I don't do that, and therefore I can't expect the same kind of treatment. And that's just what it is. I'm not going to go further with the conspiracy. I could, but I won't. Number 3, this is the doozy, folks. This is the one. And I'm going to read it, and I'm going to say the words that might, in fact, get me S-banned. I was 100%, and this was the first time I experienced shadow ban, and it really surprised me. But I was 100% shadow banned for the video I did called the Vaccine Sweepstakes. Now, this was back in the 2020 timeframe, that era. Now, ironically, I offered absolutely no personal opinion with respect to vaccines during the COVID. CVID is what I usually call it, but I said it. I wrote it and I said it. In that video, I mentioned how Pfizer, Novavax, and Moderna would likely all benefit from the billions of doses that countries around the world had very early on agreed to buy from them. This was a business observation that I made. I said, hey, these companies have already, made agreements to ship and sell billions of doses across the world to governments. They're probably going to, it makes sense, right? They're going to make some money from doing it, right? So watch the stocks and see what happens. And I was right, as each stock price rocketed in the same year. But my video was shadow banned because of the title, the Vaccine Sweepstakes. which was when I learned that shadow banning does in fact happen. Now, just like the negative video on the Federal Reserve, I did a follow-up as a test because, again, I said before, I like to even use myself as market research to learn. So I did a follow-up and basically used the same title, Vaccine Sweepstakes, and then talked about how I had done the video before, and sure enough, same thing happened. And here's the easy way for me to see is when I have a 100% like rate, when every single person who likes the video likes it and no one dislikes it. When there is a perfect approval rating on the video and it doesn't get pushed out, but instead after maybe a half hour or an hour of play, you just see the video die. In other words, it will not get recommended by the algorithm. So that's what at least I think goes on from what I've seen. And again, I've used me and this channel as the chance to sort of, dig into that, get that market research and learn. And then, of course, I followed up and said I might have gotten myself shadow banned for this response too. And that's unclear. I'm really not sure. We'll see how this one plays. I'm probably hit on this one. I'll tell you right now. And that's fine. Let me move on now because this is where I don't know how many people are aware of it. I know very few people have really dug into this. This is 29 videos that I have, and I've compiled it, and I call it Wall Street No Manipulation. I've got the little, like banned or not allowed manipulation, but I'm kind of poking fun at Wall Street. And in this playlist, I've got a lot of content. Some of it is about FTDs. Some of it is sharing really high-level people with a ton more experience, and not just years, but decades of experience with these things. Some have written papers, professor, legal counsel, who shorts have been terrified to take to trial. They're talking about markets across the globe, not just in the US. And so for me, I've probably spent, I would guess, an easy 100 hours researching into this stuff, this whole shorting and all this kind of thing. And I have to say, even studying these high-level people and having dug in, I just don't feel like I know nearly enough. I feel like there's a lot more to learn. And so if I've got 100+ hours into it, and I'm studying some of the highest level people, and I've compiled this list of these videos, I hope more people will find them, watch them, learn something, or take something that they can then dig and do more research on their own, because I really, there is no easy answer for this. There really isn't. The shorting and all that. I do think, and this is one of the things I do believe that I've learned from doing all this research, is there seems to be an alignment with IDE companies. I've talked about that. I've got a video on that, what an IDE company is, and that's why I chose NIO. NIO is a wonderful example of an IDE company. IDE companies' growth trajectory is normally negative for a while. Part of the reason, a big part of the reason, is they do massive investment. You invest in the business to expand your global footprint, in this case, and get to a point where you can make a ton of money, a lot more money than anyone ever expected that you could. However, you need to do the investment to take over that massive, that global footprint. And that is what NIO is doing. Now, in the meantime, what that does is that allows sort of this confidence on the part of shorts. And the short thesis can remain in play. I don't think it really gets crushed until profitability for these companies. Now, these IDE companies, I'll name a few of them, and you tell me, and please look it up for yourselves. I've talked about this and shared this in videos as well, but look early on at these companies where their stock prices traded, or how many of them traded at penny stock levels before they eventually proved themselves out and then made enormous, massive moves with the stock price. How about Nvidia? How about Tesla? How about Amazon? How about Netflix? And I could go on. Apple, maybe AMD. I don't know. I have to look at that one. I don't know about the early stock price history and where it's been. But the point is, these types of businesses, they're unique in what they do. And there are people early on, until the company can show profits and consistent profits and really strong profits, people will hate. They will be negative. They will not believe. They will be really disconnected, or they will be shorts, and they will really try and monetize that short thesis. I won't be surprised when we see companies like Citadel. I've called them the suspicious short in NIO for several years. I won't be surprised if or when we see them go long with NIO. I just think it's going to happen. I think NIO needs to get to profitability. I think that's important for crushing the short thesis. And this is a tangent I didn't intend to do, but I did it. So I better cut myself off and get this video up and out so that I can get this shadow ban started as fast as possible. And then hopefully in a few days or the next few videos, it'll cease, and maybe I'll get some more views. Obviously, I'm not too worried about this stuff. As I said, I want to always be learning and studying and researching, and that includes using myself as an opportunity to learn and study and grow and improve. And so that's just sort of what it is for me. But starting to lose my voice, so that's my sign. I talk too much. I better cut it off. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all again very soon.